Okay, folks, this is a game developed within Game Maker. You can see the soldier defending his neighborhood from the alien warship. Okay, so what I'll do now is I will actually take you guys into Game Maker development environment and show you how this very little game was developed. Okay, guys, and say it destroying the warship. So let's go into Game Maker and you see how this very sprite that I'm using was developed in creating this game. So let's go into Game Maker now, guys. Yeah, welcome back. So now I'm going to show you how the sprite was created. So the first sprite is as follows. Let me get those sprites from where I saved them. So I'm going to upload the following. If you notice, the background is actually removed. So that's the sprite. Is 32 by 32. I may have to increase the size though. So let me just paste that in there. Okay, so I'll repeat the same thing for the other four sprite, guys. So, and I'll get back to you as soon as I finish that. I now have all my sprites in place, but the next thing I'm going to do is I think I should make the sprite a little bit bigger. So I'll go straight into the edit mode and just sort of like transform them to about let's make it 180 280 by 280, and that should be fine. You see that, 128 by 128, and I will repeat the same thing for the other sprite. Now I've actually increased the size of all my sprite to 128 by 128. So the next thing is I'm going to now upload a background, but I think maybe I should use this background in Flash, this very one. Let me show it to you guys. Sorry, this is the background that I developed in Flash. Still, I haven't made up my mind if I should use it, because I seem to have some other background, but I've used it before in on YouTube. So maybe I might have to use this. I develop it, or maybe I should use this very one. It's an ideal one, but I will make up my mind as this. One thing about this very background is I've used it on several occasions and actually developed this in Flash. So it's an ideal. It has an ideal location, because I can always have my alien ship right here. But I still haven't made up my mind. I'll decide. Okay, let's go back into Game Maker right now, guys. Well, final decision is to actually import both background. One will be for the first layer. So that's the first background right there, and the second background, so that will be for my second the second level of the game. So that's for the first level and the second level. I think I said layer, I'm wrong, so let's call it the right name, first level and second level. So if I decide to do the second level, so I have my image in place as well. So I have two images there to be used. So the next thing is I'm going to now develop or create my object. So the object I will be using is the sprite stand, which is right there. So I'm going to call that object stand. So that's the soldier. So the next thing is let's get the crate, the event crate right there, and I'll now select change sprite. The sprite I'm going to be changing it to happens to be the standing sprite. So that will be -1 and make that 0, and then click on OK. So the next thing is I will now use keyboard event. So let's say if nothing happens, I might as well copy this. If nothing happens, it should remain in the same position, which is the standing sprite, and everything here is image is -1 and speed is 0. So and let's just put this action there. Move fix is 0 as well. The next event will be, let's use keyboard left. So in that case, I will now text expression right here. You can see I'm applying it to step to self. So x less than 0. Okay, and now let's click on OK. Then I will now jump to position. So jump to position would be -4, and that's for the x-axis, and for the y-axis that's 0 as well. So make sure you check your relative. Click on OK. So the same thing will be applied to, sorry, let me just apply change sprite to left. Yep, left image right there, and set that to -1, and sub image is -1, and the image is 1 as well. You can see I've actually select the left sprite right there. Click on OK. So I will now repeat exactly the same thing for the right. So let me just copy all of this and just paste it and change the values in there. So I'll copy it now. Now come to right key, yep, paste all of that in there and just change the value. So my expression right here, x is less than 680. Click on OK. Double click on the other one and just change this one to +4, and that's 0. Click on OK. Then this will have to be right move. Okay, move right and click on OK. So the next one I need is key up. So the expression, the y-axis is greater than 40, and I make sure it's set to self. Jump to position, x-axis is 0, y-axis is 2, and set to relative. Change sprite, as you guys will guess, move up. Okay, let me just copy all of these, and I will now use the down key. With the down key, I'll set the y-axis to 120. Accept that, and jump to position will be x is 0 and y 2 and relative, and change this to the down sprites down. And so let's just click on OK. So that is all for the sprite of the soldier. Okay, next thing right now is to add more sprites. So let me go into the way I save all my images. That's good. So I'll get that as for the bullet. I'll be using this bullet for the enemy. So the enemy will be using this very weapon to attack the people. So that's a sprite enemy bullet. Okay, click on OK. The size is the width is 32 by 32. And next thing is let me get the explosive in. Explosive 1, that's right. Okay, explosive 1 is in, so we need explosive 2. Then I'm gonna need a weapon for the soldier. The soldier will need a weapon. Let's get a weapon in place there. That's good. Okay, that's bullet. So that's all my sprites in place. So the next thing is let's create the object. So in this case I'll just create object bullet. That's my object bullet right there. I'll select the soldier's weapon, this very one, and then add an event as create, and let me then select this very action, the vertical speed, and just set that to -3. I will leave the relative out, and as you guys can notice, this is self. Just click on OK. Right, next object to be created will be the explosive. Let me start with explosion 1. Okay, that'll be object explosion 1. And what I'll do, because explosion 1 is an animated explosive image, I will go to select an event which should be end. That will end the animation. Okay, and at the end of the animation I want it to be destroyed. So I will repeat exactly the same thing for explosion 2, object explosion 2. So let's create that as well. Object explosion 2, the same thing will be repeated for that. Add animation end event and destroy. Okay, that's cool. So what is left for me now, I will then let me create object enemy bullet, object enemy underscore bullet. Okay, I now select object enemy right here. That's it. Select with object enemy now in the sprite. So let me sprite area. So let me create certain events there, and I now need to test the instance. I think it's in my control right here. Okay, drag it into the action, and I am only working with the object standing, which is right there. The object stands. The number, the variable, is equal to 0, and the operation will be larger than. Just click on OK to accept that condition. The next thing is to apply this very action, add this action to the action column. The main reason is for the bullet to chase the soldier. So I'm going to identify the object that needs to be chased, and that's the soldier. Okay, chase the soldier, search the x-axis and at the same time the y-axis. So in that case the coordinates will be looked into by the bullet when the enemy shoot at the soldier, this very soldier right here. So I will click on OK for that, and my next action is let me add an else if nothing happens. If nothing happens, let it start moving in a direction. So let's say downwards, and the speed, let's say about 6, and apply to self. So just click on OK. So that will be all for my enemy bullet. So the next thing I will do now is to actually go to the application called Inkscape and create an enemy spaceship. So let's go into Inkspace to create the enemy spaceship. The next thing is just to sort of like draw out a spaceship. So let's assume that's the body of the spaceship. So let's just we can call that the fuselage. Let's shape it up. Let's shape that up as that's looking more like it. Okay, let's round it up right here, or maybe use this. Maybe, yeah, that's not too bad. So I'll just get back to you guys as soon as I add the wings. So this is like where the radar is, but before then let's apply some gradient to it. Maybe make it this way. Yeah, that's it. That's cool. And then maybe, yeah, that's not too bad. Now we need some wings here. Oh, let's just draw the wings. Apply a bit of gradient to the wings as well. Alright. Make that a little, yeah, that's alright. And I'm going to repeat exactly the same thing to this edge. and maybe move it in a little bit. Yeah, that's not too bad. Maybe drag this in a little bit more. Okay, now we have a wing. So I'll get back to you guys as soon as I finish this spaceship. Well guys, here's my spaceship, so I'm just gonna save it now and import it into GameMaker. Right, let's go back to GameMaker. Yeah guys, I've now finished drawing my spaceship, so I'll go to where I save it now. Let's create a new sprite for it. Spaceship right there. Upload my spaceship on board. I'm going to leave this one now. Okay, let's just get that one as well. Let's see. I have my spaceship on board now, but I think I'm going to have to edit it because you can see, yeah, that's it. It's a little bit too large. In fact, it's too large. Now let's crop it to, yeah, that's much better. So let's see how it will look like. Okay guys, that's my spaceship, which is it's not looking bad. That's good. So I'm going to settle for this. Now let's go into GameMaker. So in the first place, let's give this a name, sprite. So that's going to be the base of the rest airplane, so that would be sprite enemy base. Okay, good. So okay, that's fine. So I might as well just make a let me make a duplicate of this and change that as my the soldiers. And let's go enemy, and that will be the enemy armies. Okay, enemy army. All right. So now let's go in here and just reduce the size of this enemy army. Let me just reduce this to about 32. 32 by 32 for all. That's good. So let's see, that's good. That will be the enemy army. Good. So there we go. So we now need to create a sprite, an object for this enemy base. Right click, create an object. So this object is going to be known as object enemy base. Good. And in this case we want the bigger airplane. That's good. Now we're going to create object enemy armies. Okay, get the enemy armies where they are. Yeah, there they are. Okay, that's fine. So object enemy base, back to object enemy base, we will now add a step. Okay, then we add a test instant. Let's make that about 50. We now need to add create instant. So the instant that will be created is enemy army, but we do need a coordinate for that. So let me say that's about 100 by, let's test 50 first and see what will happen. Okay, so I'm just going to now open up my program right here, the room right here. That's the airplane there, the spaceship. Get the background. Maybe I should use this. Okay, that's my background. I'm going to have to move this enemy spaceship somewhere here. That's too small. No, that's not the right one. This is the other one. That's the right one there. Let's move it here because I'll sort of like chop up the wing. Okay, so if I run my program right now, but before I run my program, I think enemy army needs to have some movement in it. So create and let the movement be sort of like random. Maybe let's say the speed is about 3. Click on OK. So I will now run it just to try it out before I continue with the finishing, continue with the last stage of this very program. You see that, guys? You can see the spaceships sending out warplanes to attack planet Earth or escape planet. So we have to do something about that, and that's where the soldier will actually come in and defend us from this enemy airplane. That's a huge spaceship right there, so we need to do something about it. So let me continue and just finish up with the rest of the game. And that's the soldier right here that's meant to do something, so we need to get him moving as well. So let's go back into the program. So let's run it again and see what will happen. Okay, that's my space warrior right now. You can see, as you can see, the bullet is not doing anything right now, and even this ship seems to be a little bit too big, so I may have to reduce the size of the ship so that these enemy fighters can all be destroyed as well. Okay, so I'm going to go back into my design view and get that sorted, guys. So let's press escape. He needs to apply some collusion. Let me apply some collusion into this enemy. So let's say collusion with a bullet. Alright, so score, shall we give it a score? Maybe make that about 2. Yeah, why not 2? Okay, and apply destroy in this case will be order, because the collusion is being set within the enemy soldier, so that will be order. Alright, that's fine. So now let's change instant right here. So the instant that I would like is let's use explosion 2. Yeah, explosion 2. So once it's destroyed, explosion 2 will appear. Okay, so I think for now let me just say okay and try it out. Okay, let's try it out and see what will happen. There we go. Now where are the enemies? Yeah, there they come. Oh dear, let's see that. Bam, bam. Yeah, that's good. You see, guys, it's working as expected. Yeah, can you see that? The soldier is actually doing his work, defending us from all these bad aliens. Yeah, that's good. And they have a weapon of mass destruction. We are defending ourselves against them. But let's now create all these enemies so that they can also shoot at us, maybe shoot at will. Okay, I think maybe while I go up there I should increase the, yeah, that's good. Yeah, that's not bad game. So let's go back into the design view. Okay, remember at the earlier stage I actually entered this action, that's to move towards, which means the bullet will actually move towards the soldier. So we will now go into enemy army. I will now add step into it. Okay, once the step is added, let's test the chances. So make that about 50, and the next thing is get an instant on board. The instant in this case is the object in this case is object enemy bullets right there. So let's make that 0 and by 16 relative. Okay, that's good. So let me just try this out and see what will happen before I continue. So let's try it out and see. Oh, here comes the bullet. Yosh. Okay, yeah. I think you can see them shooting at me, but the bullet seems to still be coming from all angles. Can you guys see that? That means some of these airplanes, when they go out of the screen, they are still active. So that means I have to now use another method. Once they are out of the airplane, once they are out of the screen, they should be destroyed. So let's set that now. Once soldiers are out, once enemy airplane are out of the screen, it should be destroyed. So let's go to orders, outside room, it should destroy self. And the same thing should apply to the bullet. If the bullet is outside room, it should destroy itself. That is fine. So let's give it one more go. Let's try it out and see what will happen. Okay, there we go, guys. Look at that. And the soldier doing his job as usual. You see that? No more return fire or enemy airplane. So as a soldier, yeah, that's fine. Yeah. Okay, the next thing now is just to, maybe we say collision. If the soldier collide with the enemy bullet right here, okay, so let it change instant. In this case, change instant to explosive one. Yeah, explosives one. And I think maybe we should deduct some points. Let's make that minus. The score will become -2 instantly. Alright. And if we want, we can always ask it to destroy this guy, but that means the game will end. But let me just run it now and see. And but you guys can always advance it to that level just to end the game. Right now, enemy airplane have not been hit yet, so let's the enemy bullet hit the soldier and see. You see that, guys? That means the soldier is dead. Let's end it, because the soldier is dead and the spaceship is still firing. So let's get something done there. Instead of it destroying the soldier permanently, I think we should just restart the game so that you guys just see what will happen. We just restart the game. So you lose 2 points, you restart the game, and game continues. So let's go back and run the game in. So guys, that's how you develop game, and this will be the final stage of this game. So I will now get my game published. Let's see that, guys. Okay, the next thing is supposing the soldier actually shoot down the bullet, so we can do that too. So what about if bullets collide with enemy bullets? We want the both of them to explode. Okay, let's destroy. Let's enter this. Yep. And let's destroy self. We want others to be destroyed. So okay, let's say self here. Wait a minute. Yeah, that's fine. Let's self-destroy. So the bullet will destroy self, and as well we might as well just repeat the same thing for this guy. This guy here, if this enemy bullet collide, let's change that to collision with this guy here. So destroy self as well, and the explosion, maybe one we do. So let's run it and see what will happen if there's any collision in between the two of them. Collision between the two weapons. So let's see, waiting for it to, You see that, guys? Alright. So that's how you go about developing your own game. Okay, guys? So I believe you can do the same thing. If you notice, if there's any collusion, you see the game sort of like start from where it begins, which is right here. Okay, and you see that starts from where it begins. So I'll just like to Alright, guys, that's how you develop games. So what I'll do now is just call it a day. So if you want to develop something like this, you can just watch this video. Okay, so you have a nice day, and please do subscribe. Thank you. Bye.